And we're back. It is now November 1st, and it's getting... Alright, welcome back, guys. It is now November 1st. All the soybeans are done. We've been out of the fields for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now because of rain. And right now I'm just going around trying to gather some corn ears just to see moisture, because we have this week of no rain. I don't know what next week's gonna bring, but I don't know if you can hear, but the corn leaves are dry and the stalks are getting brittle. Unfortunately with corn though, you know how that goes. It takes a while for the ears to dry down. So I'm just gonna go in here and pick 3 or 4 good ears so I can take home and test them. And like I've mentioned in the previous video, we're not a big farm, and with chemical prices and fertilizer prices rising this year, what is a cheap way to kill weeds? We typically use Roundup and Liberty, or there's another one. I'm not too educated on that kind of stuff yet. Well, I know enough to get me in trouble, but I'll have to look at the label and tell you what it is. So I walked in there probably 12, 16 rows, loaded my pocket down with corn, and this is what I was talking about. Granted, this is right on the side of the field, and this is a low spot too, so maybe I'm over exaggerating, but just the grass, it kind of annoys me. Although I will say in the bean field across from here, this is also our bean field. Yeah, right there's shit tile. The corn here, I believe, is Pioneer, and I want to show you in contrast to, I believe it's either Beck's or Seed Consultants. So they're not very big ears, but this is the 3 I just picked, and there's the 3 from our other field. Doesn't these just look so much prettier? Like I said, that's either Beck's or Seed Consultants. That's Pioneer. I don't know. Maybe it just could be soil conditions. So we've had trouble with that cornfield over there, and we're getting soil samples after we harvest the corn. But here's one of the storage facilities. It's just our grain dryer. It's a Farm Fan CF/AB 150 under a little roof. Then we have, it's about 1,000 bushel holding tank, and then probably about a 6,500 bushel bin. And then the bin down there is, well, they're both junk bins. The big one we could use if we really have to, but the small one leaks like a freaking sieve. So this my grandpa purchased back in the early 90s, I believe. And there you go. That just shows we hate drying corn nowadays just because of the price of propane. But this is causing us a lot of issues, so we're probably going to have to rewire this, and that's going to be, that's going to be a pretty penny for sure. So the way we have this system worked out here is normally on top of that bin, well, on top of it, but we have a little driveway here. Oh, and that's another low spot in the field if you can't tell. But we have an auger that comes down through here so we can unload. And then we have this auger that we just put freaking, gosh, I can't think of the name, a hopper right there. And that runs up, that's all plumbed in electrically, so that turns on as needed. And then here's the outspout, and we have an electric auger that we plug into it that'll turn on automatically. That whole system is 6-inch, I believe. And the auger back here is what we used to fill the hopper bottom with, but yeah, it's shot now, so that's where it lives. There's 80 acres here, and this is the property that I was telling you about, one of them, that is in the more expensive part of the county. But this is that low spot I was telling you about. It's a long ways. Way up there's the garden, but about right there's the cutoff for it. And then here's that small bin, and then right up there is our fuel tanks. But this big barn over here, it's an old barn, but it's probably one of my favorite barns that is in the family. Here is the first tractor my grandpa bought, brand new. It was 2 years old and he bought it off the lot. It's a Ford 5000 with a loader. This used to be our soybean planting tractor for a while when I was really young, but it's over here now in the little lean-to part that doesn't have a door. That's why it has bird crap all over it. 4-bottom Ford plow back here, and there's a couple of the hopper bottoms. There's 2 there and there's 1 back there. And then behind me, this is the corn crib. The first combine they got was an Oliver, I couldn't tell you, but it was an Oliver open station self-propelled combine. Then they moved up to a Oliver self-propelled with a cab. And then they got the TR70, then my dad got the TR85, now they have the CR940. Before that, it was all just picking corn and pull behind Ford harvester. And then next door to that, in this little area, we have, I believe there's 2 or 3, yeah, there's 3 of these J&M 250s right next to the corn crib and the TR70's old gathering chain. 2 of them. And now the big part of the barn, we have this little ramp to it, and it has wooden floor that is, yeah, it's shot. Like you can see it goes down right here, but this is where the old 960 is. Before you say anything, it has 900 decals because of the 960 decals. My dad repainted it and completely redid it, was not available. But there she is, plow blade and a bush hog. We actually just cleaned this barn out. As you can see, my uncle has some stuff in here. There's a TR70 tire. Just some random crap. Ford cultivator, row shields, and just a bunch of items that we wanted to keep, like that old grain sheller, or grain cleaner, I mean, excuse me. Some parts off the Oliver head, a Ford 2-bottom plow. Then back there's a part to the 5-bottom International 710. We adjusted down to a 5-bottom, then a Roundup tank. This barn is definitely one of those cool old barns, and there's a lot of crap in here, but we actually cleaned a lot of it out last spring. But we'd like to get this floor in here so we can at least have equipment in here, because we need storage badly. But I'm gonna head home now because I'm curious to see what that corn moisture is. But fun fact, this tree here, yeah, it might be in the middle of our fields and it might be in the way, but that thing is pushing 300 years old and it is still perfectly fine. If it wasn't for the age, we'd tear it down, but the day that thing gets tore down is when the wind takes it down or it's completely dead. Alrighty, time to shell. We got them all sorted out. Got these 3 from my uncle's and these 3 from my grandma's, and we're gonna test them. Then we have our nice AgMac Agritronics moisture tester. Alrighty, we got the first batch shelled. This is from the field that you saw me at, so this is the Pioneer stuff. So let's get a test on it. So that was a big time fail. Yeah, we're not running anytime soon there. Kind of scares me to even look at that number, to be honest. And now time to shell the last 2. So I say this now, but just shelling it and the sound of it, this stuff sounds a lot drier. It feels drier, but I'm not going to say anything. But this is the more not so yellow corn, but the ears look a lot prettier than the previous. I don't know, kind of weird. Time to give this stuff a round, I guess. Let's see here. That will be going here pretty soon. That is a lot better. Before it rained, it was testing 18, so it's going down relatively quick, so that's good to see. But 57.6, I mean, it's not terrible, it could be better, but at least the moisture is going down. But we got the grain truck out because we needed space, and behind the barn here, since it was a junk pile, basically, we got a little bit cleaned up. And by a little bit, I mean where the backhoe sits, there used to be a trailer, but we still have that pile of junk. Moved the old combine tire, the old tractor tire, and a couple old tires out of here. Put this little semi back here. But that old trailer's sitting out by the field now, and now there's just a bunch of junk. An old Ford 6000 fender, a John Deere snowmobile my dad got for like $100 and it blew up, and just a variety of metal and junk, like a bin fan that's not even good, a truck frame, and seed pallets. But because we got that grain truck out, now we got space for activities. But back there in the very back corner is the old Commander 6000 that we actually had to take the engine out of to put in my dad's pride and joy. And we got the sprayer off and on a seed pallet because we can just put our forklift on it, move it around easier. But there's the TR85. For its age, it's actually in really good condition. 4-wheel drive. The back tires, they could be changed. We just put new front tires on it middle of last season. And has a 3208 Cat. Phenomenal machine. And the old TW30. Oh, we were knocking over beans one night with the grain head, so I picked them all up because I had nothing else better to do. We forgot to run them through the combine. So they'll probably sit there and mice will get into them, but yeah, we need to get this sucker back up and running. Just having transmission issues. The old Allis-Chalmers 1200, maybe? Field cultivator, 22 foot. It's too light. I don't like it. 18 foot manual fold. Yes, manual, I say. John Deere BWF disc. I mean, with the wings up, it's not bad. The wings don't really do much. So you kind of have to just go off that disc blade there on both sides, or front and back, but yeah, it's not terrible. Especially for the price we paid. We paid $500 for that disc with all brand new blades on it. And when we first got the combine, yeah, we had to replace some expensive components. Then back here's our wintry fun area. And that snowmobile back there on a trailer was just a bunch of junk. That's the first snowmobile my dad ever bought brand new. Oh, and that's the sight I hate. I hate seeing this thing. Screw pressure washing. But then here's me and my dad's little project, the 4000. We always say this is my tractor, but he bought it. But this is the tractor I was most comfortable on for the longest time. We got the front done, but as you can see, still have the back and it's starting to leak from the tire because they have fluid. Then we have our, I think it's a Ford 8-foot maybe, snowplow blade, the bin sweep for the bin, the sprayer booms for that sprayer, but they just go up higher. That loader came on this 4000, and it also came with that bush hog. It was like $1,500 for all of that. Then my dad actually got this high riser thing from his work. I don't know what you'd call it. So now we have seed on top of it. Oh, and yeah. Is it an OSHA violation if you have pallets of seed on top of wheels? And those soybean bags back there, those Becks, those are actually the last 2 non-GMO soybean bags that have not been opened. We're never going to use them. However, we need to get them out of the barn where the mice will not get into them. They already have a couple holes in them from age, but we need to get them out of here. But since we're on a barn tour, let's go ahead and go back here and look at some more stuff. Under the pile of junk, this is our white 349 5-bottom plow. Here's the other side of the TR. The auger was replaced when my dad bought it and they did a crappy job, but there's the 6-row head, the 16-foot bean head, and in front of the bean head is our rotary hoe, along with my gold mine and stuff, because when I was younger I used to watch Gold Rush. I still do, and I had a thing for mining for gold, so I got a little sluice box. Just something to kind of mess around with every now and then. Then last year, I was lucky out there. Not big at all, but they had big bodies. Or so, I think. But here's the bracket on the sprayer for those high-rise booms. And we got all this hydraulic fluid for free. 10 buckets of it, I believe. The company was going to throw it away, so we stopped and picked them up. And now there's just 2 last things to show you guys. A culprit is one of them. No, I'm just playing. But back there is a pull-behind sprayer that my dad bought as a project, never finished. And our 6-row Ford cultivator and an engine. And then our Toyota forklift that has 16,000 hours on it, but it still runs perfectly fine. And then this thing. I have tore the crap out of this thing. It's about junk. You can't really go over 35 miles an hour without the engine acting like it wants to blow up. So, it's the next day. It's now November 2nd. And this is the first cornfield that I picked some corn out of yesterday. And over here we got our semi. And then right here is our bean bin that we just put all our soybeans in. It's probably about 7,500 bushel. Then beside it is a 10,000 bushel Brock bin that holds all our corn. And there's the auger again. We brought it back over here. I don't know if you can see it or not through there, but we brought the corn head over here, so hopefully we could be running some corn here soon. All right, we're just gonna do kind of a quick walkthrough of this barn because I did something to the combine yesterday I forgot to talk about. But behind here's our 11 or 9 shank anhydrous applicator, our 6-row 30-inch spaced white 5100. It's got the liquid tanks, our Allis-Chalmers 9 shank disc chisel. It's heavy built, and for the year it's really good. Plus we like the high clearance so it doesn't get plugged up in corn stalks. And then one of the more recent purchases in here is a 20-foot John Deere 230. It's 9-inch spaced. My uncle bought it, not really thinking about it. It was a good deal, but we're probably never going to use it. Then we have a stock chopper. Haven't really used it much. We got it really cheap. And repainted it, patched some holes in there, and a Kawani blade. And the 9600's back over here, hooked up to the disc. And now you can see what I did to the combine. Shiny glass. It's nice to see. Yeah, but I cleaned it all yesterday. I didn't clean the very back window in the cab, but yeah, she's all spiffed up now so we can see through corn harvest. That light bar up, oh crap. That light bar up there was actually not working, but we got that working for corn harvest, so that's gonna be an improvement. The corn planting tractor, 7600, 7210 Ford loader. It's got like 3,000 hours on it. Excellent tractor. Still has that sprayer's monitor box in here, or control box, I guess you can say. And now the stuff that we despise. That sickle bar mower right there. This auger here beside me is the auger I was talking about. It's the electric auger that hooks up to the grain dryer. That's gonna be in the family. But I reckon it'll need a couple new tires. Here's the second auger. This was actually on this property, and my dad assembled it before my grandpa bought this property. Just a little feed auger, nothing too crazy. Next to our better J&M 250. Then back here is the old 9000. She blew up this spring, so we're gonna get rid of it. Definitely gonna keep the tires though, because they're all still really good, and these front weights. But she's too old for us to really put a new engine in when we can just upgrade. And finally, we like our 5100 planters, you know, so we have the 5100 IH drill with a unpreferred cultiplaner attachment. Yeah, that one, that broke this spring actually, but yeah, we're hoping to get rid of these two and get a Kinze 3500 815 liquid. Then get rid of the disc and that other sprayer over there. Just trying to free up some room because Lord knows we need it. But I think that's gonna wrap it up. We're not really doing much right now, but corn harvest will be starting soon, and I will be getting plenty of recording and footage of that. So stay tuned. Hope you guys had a good one.